You call me Chris Everett to my face one more time.
I already did it twice.
You call it one more time. We better take a station break.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we'll be looking at the most notorious live TV interviews that, for one reason or another, devolved into physical altercations.
I will get you for this!
Bert Reynolds and Mark Summers. In 1994, during his contentious divorce with actress Lonnie Anderson, Bert Reynolds made an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Which was really great.
Gee, I wish I'd seen that.
You would.
Right at the start, Leno cracked jokes about Reynolds' personal struggles, which immediately put him in a sour mood. The situation took an unexpected turn when children's game show host Mark Summers joined the show. While interacting with Reynolds, Summers rubbed his own marriage in the actor's face.
My wife tells me that often.
She says, good morning.
I'm still married, as a matter of fact.
Yes, well, you...
He soon learned how terrible an idea that was. Reynolds responded by dumping his mug on Summers' lap, but when the host tried to retaliate, Reynolds quickly swatted his hand away. The tension soon escalated into a pie fight, leaving both men covered in cream. Alexander Lebedev and Sergey Palansky. Economic discussions often stir up a lot of tension, but things took an unusually heated turn in this televised debate between two Russian oligarchs.
A number of Russian oligarchs had been invited to debate the economy on national TV.
In 2011, billionaire tycoon and former KGB spy Alexander Lebedev appeared on a show alongside former property developer Sergey Palansky for a discussion on the economic crisis. Things quickly got heated in the course of the interview, leading Lebedev to attack Palansky with a series of blows, sending him right to the floor.
But Lebedev's discussion with paratrooper turned property developer Sergey Palansky gets heated before boiling over.
The former spy claimed he felt threatened by Palansky and decided to neutralize the perceived threat with his fists. The televised altercation resulted in Lebedev being charged with politically motivated hooliganism with a potential maximum sentence of 5 years.
You looked very angry at the time, on the tape. Are you sorry about what happened there?
I might have overreacted. I mean, normally I'm a very quiet person, and I was not looking for any violation of public order.
Shakir, al-Johari, and Sami. In July 2014, a discussion between two Jordanian analysts on the JoSat satellite television channel escalated into violence. The contenders were Shakir al-Johari, a controversial journalist, and Sami, a lawyer and activist. The focal points of their heated exchange were the Syrian civil war and the Gaza crisis. As Kres expressed his views during the interview, al-Johari, in a fit of anger, hurled a bottle of water at him. Things intensified as al-Johari walked across the studio, grabbed a chair, and lunged at Kres with it, despite the host's attempts to intervene. Fortunately, a studio staff member stepped in just in time, successfully placating the enraged journalist and preventing further chaos. Sharpton and Roy Inis. In the 1980s, Sharpton and Roy Inis were two prominent civil rights activists in New York.
Who speaks for Black America? Roy Inis? Al Sharpton? Who speaks? You be the judge. Join us tonight.
Despite their shared cause, both men held opposing political views, with Sharpton aligning as a Democrat and Inis being firmly conservative. Their discord resurfaced in 1988 during an infamous appearance on the Morton Downey Jr. show. Sharpton first began taking Inis to task over some of his controversial opinions.
In this transitional stage, Mr. Inis went from a man who would challenge a Bob Abrams to a man who would curtail and kowtow and back down to a Bob Abrams.
When Inis tried to respond, Sharpton interjected, leading to a physical altercation that saw the conservative activist shove Sharpton to the floor. The ensuing brawl on the stage was swiftly contained by host Downey Jr., who, for once, found himself playing the unusual role of peacemaker. Shakir al-Johari and Mohammed al-Jayusi. What's it they say? When two journalists fight, it's the production studio that ultimately suffers? Well, that happened to be the case during this May 2014 interview on the Jordanian TV show Between Opposing Opinions.
This is the moment two journalists taking part in a TV debate in Jordan became so angry with each other they wrecked the studio.
None other than the controversial journalist Shakir al-Johari makes an appearance, this time against fellow journalist Mohammed al-Josi. Once again, the topic of discussion was the Syrian crisis. Al-Josi reportedly sparked conflict by labeling al-Johari a deviant and accusing him of supporting the Syrian revolution.
The pundits were taking part in a debate on the crisis in Syria when the discussion became a little bit heated.
This caused the two journalists to clash physically, pushing the studio table at each other, until the top broke off. Eventually, they were pulled apart by the production staff, but not before leaving the studio in complete disarray.
Whilst the table tug-of-war escalated pretty quickly, nobody seems to score a decisive victory.
Vakhtangishvili and Calov. Heated debates between political opponents aren't unusual, but it's not often that we see those disagreements escalate to full-fledged boxing matches. In the lead-up to the 2016 elections in Georgia, parliamentary candidates Vakhtangishvili from the Democratic Movement and Calov from the Industrial Political Bloc engaged in a debate on the TV network Vemo Kartli. The exchange became intense, reaching a boiling point when Gurganishvili reportedly referred to Calov as scum. Both men threw their pens at each other before deciding to sort things out with their fists. It didn't take long for the production staff to intervene, pulling the two opponents apart and bringing the televised debate to an abrupt conclusion. Jim Rome and Jim Everett. The Los Angeles-based TV show Talk 2, hosted by sports personality Jim Rome, ran for 5 years on ESPN2. In 1994, the program achieved notoriety due to a contentious interview between Rome and former NFL quarterback Jim Everett.
Good to be here, Jim. Thank you.
Check that. Chris Everett. Good to have you on the show.
You know what? You've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
About 2 years, actually, Chris.
Prior to their encounter, Rome had repeatedly called Everett Chris Evert, a nod to the legendary tennis player, which irked the NFL star. As the interview commenced, Rome continued using the nickname, prompting Everett to warn him against repeating it.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
Unsurprisingly, Rome did. This led Everett to flip the table and shove the host to the floor. Rome has since acknowledged his fault in the incident, seeking to reconcile with Everett, but the former football player has repeatedly declined his requests.
Anyway, it's too bad you had to see that. We feel that was a pretty unfortunate incident. That was New Orleans Saints quarterback Jim Everett.
Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler. Andy Kaufman was an unconventional entertainer who garnered significant attention for his alternative comedy style. Even stranger, Kaufman engaged in a bizarre form of wrestling and eventually faced off against professional wrestler Jerry Lawler, who seemingly left him with a neck injury.
Do you still need that neck brace on there?
Yes.
Yeah?
I do.
Are you in a lot of pain?
Well, I'm not in nearly as much pain as I was, and it's healing, but...
Months later, they attempted to resolve their feud on Late Night with David Letterman. Kaufman, still sporting a neck brace, threatened to sue Lawler for his injuries, causing the professional wrestler to slap him so hard he fell off his chair.
What kind of a guy are you? You're not the kind of guy
I'll just be over here. We're going to pause here for station identification and get the hoses out here.
Kaufman apparently lost his composure afterwards, yelling expletives and throwing a cup of coffee at Lawler. Despite the realistic portrayal, it was later revealed that the altercation was staged, and that both men were, in fact, good friends. The Heraldo Brawl. On November 3rd, 1988, Geraldo Rivera's morning talk show became the setting for a heated confrontation.
Our guests that you'll meet today are truly hate-filled. They are self-described racists.
The panel featured white supremacists, black civil rights activists, and Jewish advocates. During the discussion, a guest directed a racial epithet at Roy Inis, the chairman of the Congress of Racial Equality.
Now, let me tell you. Sit down, man. Hey, you got a kid. You got a kid.
In response, Inis walked over and grabbed him forcefully by the neck. As the two men struggled, several audience members stormed the stage and joined the scuffle, throwing chairs and punches at each other. Amid the brawl, a chair struck Rivera in the face, leaving him with a broken and bloody nose. Remarkably, Rivera declined immediate medical attention, instead opting to continue with the show.
We're back. The skinheads have been, the racist skinheads have been cleared out of the building.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Muhammad Ali and Joe Frasier. Muhammad Ali and Joe Frasier were two of the greatest heavyweight boxers in history. Both men faced off in 3 highly publicized matches between 1971 and 1975, but it seems their rivalry extended far beyond the ring.
You look good,
relaxing
Joe.
thing, you know.
You don't explain why you dress like you are.
Well, that's good. You know, I'm a dresser.
You look good,
believe.
Joe.
Shortly before their second fight, Ali and Frasier sat for an interview with veteran ABC sports journalist Howard Cosell to review their first match. At some point, Ali referred to Frasier as ignorant, which left the boxer visibly enraged and caused him to rise to his feet.
Why you think I'm ignorant?
Man, you know, sit down. Sit down, man. Sit down, Joe.
Why you think I'm ignorant?
Sit down, Joe.
Ali soon got out of his own chair, and the two ended up wrestling on the studio floor. Through it all, Cosell remained seated, narrating the scuffle for the audience like an actual prize fight.
Well, we're having a scene, as you can see, and it's hard to tell whether it's clowning or for real between the two fighters.
Are there any other contentious interviews that didn't make our list? Let us know in the comments.
Well, you had to jump me. Both of you had to jump me. Again!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.